Good morning, and welcome to my 28th installment of Fridays with Coalport Carl. Hey, what's going on, Coalport Carl? I was trying a new opening there. My buddy Wayne down there at Prawn Talk told me I should maybe try that one, and I thought I'd try it. Turns out I don't really care for it very much. It's not something I really like doing very much. So, Wayne, you're a good dude, man. You're pretty good at selling beer now, but you're not very good at figuring out how I'm going to start off a vlog. Everybody knows how I start them. That's how I start them. That's the way I do it. Hang in there, Wayne. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for selling me the greatest beer in the world. But see the video making to me, brother. That's all I'm going to say about that. Also, you're going to notice to start off the video this morning, I ain't got no hat on. First time I ever did that, ain't it? Well, there you go. Now I got a hat on. I'm going to tell you what I found out this past week. I talked to some different donkeys on the computer there. And while I talked to them, I found out some things. I found out a lot of people, while they're watching the videos, they play drinking games. And I talked to this one guy, he said him and his wife take bets on what way my hat and goggles are going to be each week. And I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting to know. I didn't realize people paid that much attention to it, really. So I thought, well, people paying attention to it, maybe I'll give them something to watch for a change other than just listen. So I thought I'd go ahead and start off with no hat on today. And just kind of go from there while I was doing my video. Find out other people take a drink every time I say blast it. Well, there you go, blast it. Blast it, blast it. That's what I did. I said blast it. Look at that there. That's what it did. So I found out that and thought that was pretty interesting. And then I also found out one guy, he takes a drink every time I say really. Really? That's all he got better to do, really, is do that. Well, I thought that was pretty amazing, really. So I thought I'd go ahead and help him get a little bit blasted, really. So that's the thing I found out about that. So, seriously, if you got things you like to do while you're watching Carl, I suggest you go ahead and keep letting me know about them. I find that stuff interesting, really. Blast it. And I think it's cool. Another guy, I think I mentioned this last week, he times how far in the video before I take my first blast of beer. I thought it's pretty nice. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's amazing to me how close people are watching. I don't really understand the infatuation with things. But I'm glad to keep doing it. I'm glad to keep looking. That's what I like to hear all at the end of the day, really. That's all I'm saying. So, I want to talk about a couple things this week. I was watching the news the other day, found out that Florida's having a problem with these giant snails. They showed them on TV. These suckers are long, man. They said they grow up to 8 inches long. And they said that they feed on stucco from the side of houses. I thought, well, folks, it's all said and done now, ain't it? You always wondered how it was going to end. Well, now we've got giant snails eating houses. Sounds like something you watch on a sci-fi movie, really, but I'm telling you it's the truth based on the news that I watched this morning. Giant 8-inch snails are eating stucco off the sides of houses in Florida. It ain't going to be too long now till a giant T-Rex looking thing just comes in and steps on everything, I'm thinking, really. Where's it going, man? I'm telling you right now, I get these slugs out on my walk there sometimes. I go out and put salt on them, you know. That pretty much ends things for them. I'm thinking you put enough salt on an 8-inch snail to melt him down, you're going to have one heck of a mess there and your walk you're going to want to clean up. So it's probably best if you just swab away the broom or something. Don't dump salt on them. Probably not the best way to handle it, blast it. Really. That's all I'm saying. Seriously, though, that was a news story. I thought that was pretty bizarre how they can do that. The other thing I want to talk about, something I talked about before, but I've done some more digging here this week since they've been playing a lot of the coverage on the TV. A lot of the coverage, that don't even describe it. Too much daggum coverage is what I'm saying. Anyway, I've often talked about how I wasn't voting for a guy named Mitt. Well, it turns out his name ain't really Mitt, really. It's Willard. Well, let me tell you something, friends. I forgave him, because if your name's Willard, you better go with something like Mitt. Or even Turd would be better than Willard, that's what I'm saying. If I got donkeys watching your name's Willard, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you. I'm sure you're a good person, but you should probably come up with another name too, like Mitt or something like that. So then I start digging around a little bit deeper. I find out he's got a son named Tag. Well, then I realize where we're going with this. Apparently it's some sort of baseball thing. After you catch the ball in your mitt, you try and tag the guy who's running. It's as simple as that, really. That's all he's trying to do there. He's coming up with a baseball theme. Well, then I start digging a little bit deeper, and I find out the Republicans are on to something all around. They like to name their kids after an entire sporting situation. Found out there at Sarah Palin there, she's got a son named Track, and she's got a daughter named Bristol. Well, there's a track in Bristol. You're in the NASCAR, friends. Get to racing. That's all I'm saying, really. Get on that number car. Pick your favorite car, track down at Bristol, and talk to Sarah Palin while you're down there. She's also got a son or a daughter, because I can't tell which it would be based on the name, Trig. Well, I knew people in high school that took Trig. It never sounded like much fun to me. And I don't know where you picked that name up. I certainly don't believe it has anything to do with NASCAR or baseball, really. But just saying, she's got one, and I think that's pretty funny, too, at the end of the day, really. And so I'm not sure where they're going with this. Mitt's got the baseball theme going, and Sarah's got the NASCAR thing going. Hey, if you know people with funny names like that, why don't you send it to me on Facebook? I'd like to see what's going on with that, really. Hey, last weekend there, I went up to 2 different pig roasts. I went on Saturday up there in McGarvey's little gathering up there. They call it roast. Boy, I tell you why they call it that, too. There was a pig just spinning on the old spit. Boy, we had a good time. What's going on up there? A lot of really good people. Made me feel right at home. Accommodate me well. It was a good time had by all. Then on Sunday there, I went down to McCoy Fest. Tim McCoy had me down for my first annual. I guess he's been having this for a lot of years. A lot of good stuff going on down there, too. They had bands down there playing, and people just blasting all around, having a good time and such. More food than the guy could figure out what to do with, and that ain't no lie. It was a pretty good time had by all. Sat next to this guy. I'm sorry I don't know your name, dude. If you watch, you can send me your name. I'll certainly plug you on the next one here. Sat by this guy. I got there early in the day, seriously, in the afternoon. He was doing Jack and Coke. He was going down to his vehicle, mixing them and bringing them back. He's having conversations in the beginning with different people, you know, while they're walking around and such. Hey, keep going down, mixing up a Jack and Coke. Jack and Coke. He had a pretty good sized mug. By the end of the evening there, about 9 o'clock, I was sitting there next to him still. I'd been blasting beer all day right there next to him. He wasn't saying anything. He's just laughing. He just looked over and started to laugh. And he just laughed for no apparent reason. I thought to myself, that guy right there is happy. And you know why? Jack and Coke. That's why. Jack ain't never done nothing bad to nobody. That's the fact of the matter, folks. And if you got any stories about how it would be bad, well, I feel bad for you. Maybe you don't do it right. This guy here, he could laugh. He laughed for about 17 straight hours that day for no apparent reason whatsoever. Because I'm going to tell you what, I was sitting right there beside him. Nothing funny was happening. It just wasn't. I mean, nothing bad was happening, but nothing funny was happening. He just blasted on the Jack. That's what the story was. And that was funny to him. And his being funny, that made me think it was funny. I laughed too. I laughed right along with him. Really, blasted. So, that was a pretty good weekend last weekend, holiday weekend, end of summer. Hate to see it wrap up, really do. But she's going, friends. Fall's here now. Won't be long. The snow will be flying. Boy, do I hate when the snow flies. It's a lot of work for everybody. Have to be shoveling, pushing, plowing, and scraping. It ain't no fun, really. Unless you got snowmobiles, which I ain't. They're expensive, so I probably never will, really. But, I guess that's about all I got to say this week. I'm going to be up there at the fire hall in Blamberg on Saturday for my buddy R.J. Wilson. He's going to be running for some seats, or a seat, I guess, in the government thing there. He's going to be having a spaghetti dinner 4 to 7, $10 a person. You ought to come up. I'm going to be hanging out up there. You know, blast down some spaghetti and do what we do. Support a good guy. Come on up and see me. Deadline for the t-shirts is real close, gang. If you want one, check out my Facebook to find out how to get it. Other than that, really, blast it, really, all day long and all that happy thing and everything you do. Be good to one another. Later.